Hey church family, happy Wednesday. I'm glad to be with y'all again. Today, I'd love to share with y'all a portion of this Bible study that a group of women and I have been working through. It's called Proven by Jenny Allen. And she's the woman who founded If Gathering, which is that conference that I was able to go to in February. And this book kind of walks through the book of John. And the intro to this Bible study that we've been working through and that we're still actually meeting via Zoom doing, which is really cool. The intro talks about the enemy and how the lies that the enemy tells us, we can just somehow believe them. We can somehow just get them stuck in our minds and be discouraged by them, and that's exactly what he intends for us to do. And so maybe you fall into this camp, especially during sheltering in place. It's easy for us to get discouraged, and it's easy for us to think that there's no hope and when is this going to be over. But this book, this perspective that she writes was so eye-opening to me, for me to realize I am believing the lies of the enemy so often. And so the more that we can kind of call them out, the more we can know that is deception, that is not from God, and that we don't need to believe that and let that take root in our heart. So this is what she says. She says, if I were your enemy, this is what I would do. I would make you believe you need permission to lead, make you believe that you are helpless, make you believe that you are insignificant, make you believe that God wants your decorum and behavior. And for years, these lies have been sufficient to shut down much of the church. But now, many of you are awake. You are in the Word and on your knees. God is moving through you, and you are getting dangerous. You are starting to get free and lead other people to freedom. The old lies no longer bind you. So if I were your enemy, I would make you numb and distract you from God's story. Technology, social media, Netflix, travel, food, comfort, I would not tempt you with notably bad things, or you would get suspicious. I would distract you with everyday comforts that slowly feed you a different story and make you forget God. Then you would dismiss the Spirit leading you, loving you and comforting you. Then you would start to love comfort more than surrender and obedience and souls. If that didn't work, I would attack your identity. I would make you believe that you had to prove yourself. Then you would focus on yourself instead of God. Friends would become enemies. Teammates would become competition. You would isolate yourself and think you are not enough. You would get depressed and be ungrateful for your story. Or you would compare and believe that you are better than others. You would judge people who need God. You would condemn them rather than love after them and invite them in. You would gossip and destroy and tear down other works of God. Either way, you would lose your joy because your eyes would be fixed on yourself and people instead of on Jesus. And if that didn't work, I would intoxicate you with the mission of God rather than God himself. Then you would worship a cause instead of Jesus. You would fight each other to have the most important roles. You would burn out from striving. You would think that success is measured by the results you see. You would build platforms for applause rather than to display God. Then all of your time and effort would be spent on becoming important rather than on knowing Jesus and loving people. The goals would be to gather followers, earn fancy job titles, publish books, build big ministries rather than seek the souls of men and the glory of God. And if that didn't work, I would make you suffer. Then maybe you would think God is evil rather than good. Your faith would shrink. You would get bitter and weary and tired rather than flourish and grow and become more like Christ. You would try to control your life rather than step into the plans he has for you. So I hope those are fighting words for you today. I hope those are words that get your fire burning, and also words that help you realize that the enemy is at work, and things that we're believing instead of God's truth is from the enemy and is from the pit of hell. And so I'm hoping that if you're feeling those thoughts of insignificance or loving the mission of God rather than Jesus himself, we all can do some rewiring and some reworking in our brains so that we are able to discern and know what is a lie and what is truth. Praying that for y'all today. I love you. Bye.